Now, have you ever noticed something so small, so seemingly insignificant about your child that you almost dismissed it, only to later discovered it was life-changing? Well, tonight we are taking you into the heart of a mother's battle to save her child's sight and life. And Viz Zachary Nyakweba spent time with Pauline Tante in Kimuka in Ngong, where her youngest daughter Stacy is fighting retinoblastoma, a rare cancer that strikes the eyes of young children. What begins with just a strange glow in a baby's eye can change a family forever. This is a story about what happens when a mother's instinct collides with a medical system that isn't always listening, and the extraordinary strength it takes to navigate the journey that follows.
Imagine a mother's quiet observation turning into a life-altering discovery. What if a seemingly innocent twinkle in a baby's eye signaled the beginning of a lifelong struggle? This is what led me to Kimuka in Ngong, Kajiado County, to meet Pauline Tante, a mother whose strength shines through her youngest child Stacy's battle with retinoblastoma. A mother's intuition is often the first defense against illness. When Stacy was just 4 months old, Pauline noticed something unusual, a subtle but persistent glint in her baby's right eye, visible only in dim light. This seemingly minor detail would become the first signal of a challenging journey ahead.
Yes, she was sleeping, but you can see a brighter something on the right eye. So that's the first time I realized that something is in this eye, but I can't tell what it was. When she was sleeping during the day, I opened the eye, I can see nothing. But when the lights are off, that's when you see the shiny eye, like that of a cat.
Despite this concerning sign, Stacy showed no pain, and the unusual shine didn't immediately appear to affect her vision.
I went to Karen Hospital to see a pediatrician for normal injections of the baby. So I asked the pediatrician, there's something I've realized in that eye. Could it be something, or maybe you can check? So they checked and they didn't see anything. So that's what kept me like, let me now relax. Unfortunately,
Pauline's early concerns were dismissed, highlighting a critical challenge in diagnosing rare diseases like retinoblastoma. Subtle early signs can easily be overlooked by medical professionals.
That nurse realized the shiny thing, because the baby was crying, he needs food. Then she told me, is there anything wrong with this eye? I told her, I don't know, because I've checked even with your pediatricians, and I was told nothing to worry about. But now, when the nurse asked about it, I now become curious. I want to know, could there be something wrong with this eye? You close to an eye, you tell her to pick something, then we realize something is wrong with the eye.
This stark realization of Stacy's visual impairment drove Pauline to seek specialized care.
They wrote me a letter, and they told me, this letter, you have to take it to Kenyatta Hospital, because your kid has something that can only be treated by Kenyatta Hospital. So I was like, what is the issue? They didn't tell me anything.
Driven by a mother's need for answers, Pauline opened the referral letter en route to Kenyatta National Hospital. The word retinoblastoma stared back at her. Like many parents seeking answers in the digital age, she immediately turned to the internet.
When I Googled, I saw retinoblastoma is a cancer of the eye. So it really broke me down. So I was even having that fear of going to Kenyatta. But I still had to go.
At Kenyatta Hospital, the severity of Stacy's condition became immediately apparent. Pauline learned that Stacy's right eye would have been removed due to the advanced state of the disease, and that both eyes were affected.
And so the eye was removed. He was given some, they call it a prosthesis, something that will just cover.
Thus began the grueling treatment journey, chemotherapy, targeting the cancer cells, a necessary but harsh treatment that severely impacted young Stacy's fragile body.
When she comes back from the theater, she can't open her eyes. She can even go for 24 hours before opening that eye. You'll guide her. You'll do everything for her. I think because of the pain and the irritation of that eye.
During one chemotherapy cycle, Stacy's platelet count plummeted to a dangerously low 8.
I was just changing her diaper, then I saw blood. I was so scared. I felt something is wrong. It was around 7 p.m. So nikachukua gari and we went to Rongai. When they checked, her platelets were 8. I was told if it's even a miracle that this baby is alive.
The urgent need for platelets transfusion created another crisis. Finding compatible donors became a stressful ordeal.
The doctor came and she told me, one person, a Mzungu, it was a Mzungu, have come to the hospital to rescue your baby. There are good people on this earth. He came, he doesn't know who is Stacy, he doesn't know who is who. And those were the last platelets.
For Naomi Bosibori from Kisii County, the experience mirrors Pauline's.
Daktari akaniambia kuna infection, kanipea eye drop ya 7 days, nikarudi nyumbani. Hiyo eye drop nikamwekea for 7 days, sikuona change. Nilikuwa stress, nikachoka, hata nikashindwa kusimama, nikakaa dakika kama 30 hivi kufikiria ni nini mbaya. Hiyo kitu sikuwa nasikia, sijawahi isikia.
She urges the government to address issues within Social Health Authority, noting that system failures sometimes prevent families from receiving timely treatment due to the high cost of managing the disease.
Hiyo SHA irekebishwe, system ikuwe vizuri. Serikali isaidie sana mambo na dawa hospitali isikose.
I wish Kenyatta Hospital could give out something about retinoblastoma, because there is no one who will come there just for checkup. They will always come when it is worse.
Dr. Njambi Ombaba, a pediatric ophthalmologist and lecturer at the University of Nairobi, explains that retinoblastoma is linked to genetics rather than random occurrence.
The only identified genetic risk factor is the mutation of the retinoblastoma gene, which is a gene found in the body as a tumor suppressor gene. So when a mutation occurs, you have loss of control of cell proliferation or growth, and that leads to abnormal multiplication of the cells that results into the cancer. The commonest sign for retinoblastoma is what we call a white reflex or leukocoria, or the cat's eye appearance. So at the center of the pupil, where normally appears black, if a child has retinoblastoma, it will appear as white. The treatment for retinoblastoma will depend on the staging. So the early stages, we normally use laser or cryotherapy that you apply into the eye, and this may be combined with chemotherapy. Advanced cases, we may need to use additional radiotherapy, and on top of that, we may need to remove the affected eye so that we stop the spread of the cancer from the eye into the other parts of the body.
According to Dr. Njambi Ombaba, retinoblastoma affects 1 in 20,000 live births worldwide. In Kenya, about 100 new cases are diagnosed annually.
Currently, children who are unable to access treatment can get support through the Hope for Cancer Care, where we get support to the mothers, funding to apply premiums for the National Insurance Scheme to pay for the treatment, and sometimes provide treatment or drugs when they're not available in the hospital.
Pauline and Naomi's appeals extend beyond raising awareness. They highlight the urgent need for increased support from government and other agencies to ease financial and emotional burden on families coping with retinoblastoma. Zachary Nyakweba, NTV, Nairobi.